Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Last Tuesday I went live and I go live every Tuesday on my channel 12 p.m. California time, so feel free to join and ask me questions. And during the last live stream I got loads and loads of questions about my US visa and my current status in the United States. So I decided to dedicate the whole video to the story of getting my American visa, and if you're interested in details, please continue watching this video. So my story with the States started back in 2013 when I first came to America on my tourist visa, which is B1, B2, and I got it to just travel and to be a tourist in America. And I came to Miami, I fell in love with the climate, fell in love with the country, and I started looking for ways to spend more time in the States. And the most viable way for me at that time was getting into an American university to do my master's or MBA. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I got into American universities with full ride scholarships, because I thought maybe I should do my master's first and then figure out whether I want to stay or whether I want to run a company or maybe go back to Europe. But also during my application process, my team and I were building a startup, which is linguatrip.com, and we were running out of money. We were trying to raise money in Russia. We couldn't do that. And our dream was always to raise money from Silicon Valley investors. But at that time, it seemed like a dream. Anyway, we tried. We applied to as many accelerators as we could. We wrote to all of the investors in the Silicon Valley, and we were able to get into 500 Startups, the accelerator. This is the t-shirt of 500, and long story short, we were able to get this investment and we came to the Silicon Valley. Again, we came on tourist visas to take part in the accelerator program and also start a company. The coolest thing is that you can start a company in the States even being on a tourist visa. So you can start a company, you can do the fundraising for your company, and this is what we've done. And during the accelerator, I was talking to a lot of immigration lawyers. I was asking them, what is the way for me to stay in the country and run my company? And there was so many lawyers who told me like, unfortunately, because you don't have masters from the States, or like you don't have this and that qualifications, it's impossible for you to stay. And I was so upset because we already registered a company in the States and raised some money from investors. And I started talking just to fellow entrepreneurs here in the Valley. And soon I found out that the most common visa here is O1, which is Extraordinary Ability Visa. And I asked a couple of lawyers about it, and they were like, oh my gosh, Extraordinary Ability Visa is only for people who got a Nobel Prize or like who won the Olympic Games. But here, like, it's very important to find the right lawyer, and one of my friends introduced me to his lawyer, who is an official lawyer of Y Combinator. And so that lawyer said that I have chances to get this O1 Extraordinary Ability Visa. And later I found out like every person that I know here who is foreign is on his O1 visa or EB1, which is Extraordinary Ability Green Card. And by the way, guys, I'm not an immigration attorney, so please, like, every situation is unique, so please consult your immigration attorney. I'm just sharing my story and what it took me to get the visa. So after I talked to this lawyer, I decided to start the process, and it was August 2015, and I needed a lot of documents. And I'm gonna go through the list. And by the way, the pile that I had, the pile that I collected, was like this. And I actually filmed a video for my Russian channel back then. You can see it here, and you can see how many documents I've had. So you can imagine how much time it took me to prepare everything. There are several criteria to get an O1 visa, and you have to be strong in at least 3 criteria. So one of the first criteria was membership in an organization that was really hard to get into. So we used 500 Startups as this organization, because the acceptance rate to 500 is like, I don't know, 3%, so it's really hard to get. And the founders of 500 Startups, the managing partners, wrote me a letter proving that I am extraordinary, and they accepted LinguaTrip because of my knowledge in the sphere of study abroad and because of my accomplishments in that sphere. Second, publications about me and about our company. That seemed quite tricky at the beginning, and I talked to some people and they said, hey, you can hire a PR agency and they're gonna fix you the articles, but this is gonna cost like $10,000. And I was like, oh my god, we just raised $100,000, we need to build a product. I cannot just spend $10,000 on the article. And by the way, lawyers are really expensive if you want to get like this O1 visa. So I just waited for American magazines to write about us, and I was reaching out to a lot of journalists, and we were able to get TechCrunch to write about us because they write about every 500 startup batch, and then many other media caught with TechCrunch. So we had like, I don't know, maybe like 20 articles, and I also submitted articles from Russian press, and yeah, so there was some articles in the Russian press as well, and I took part in some blogs, so there were bloggers who invited me to come to speak. So this was all really helpful. Thing number 3, recommendations from professionals in your sphere. And we asked like schools that we work with, and we asked people that we knew at Airbnb, and people from 500, and some of our advisors from Google. We asked them to write recommendations, and also investors, proving that I am, again, they wrote this amazing letter, so that I'm extraordinary. There are special templates, you can Google them, like how the letter should look like. They emphasized my achievements, and they were talking about how I was able to take Linguatrip to the point that it is right now. So this was another tick in my application. And also we tried to make my case as compelling as possible. So we submitted all kind of evidence we could provide, including my GMAT, TOEFL, admission letters from Johns Hopkins and the University of Florida, my articles that I published during the university time, even the Olympiads and competitions I won when I was a school child, and the DAAD scholarship that I won for Germany, like everything, we submitted everything. That's why the case was like this thick. And it took them, I think, 2 months to review the application. So in 2 months, I received the approval notice that my O1 status is approved and that I needed to get a visa. So I had to travel. I went back to Russia and I applied for my visa at the Russian consulate. I got it in another month. And then, yeah, I was able to travel to the States and work for my company. And I also have some friends who are not entrepreneurs, but who are researchers, who are on O1 visa. I even have like friends who are designers, who are in finance. So yeah, I think I have all kinds of friends, and if you prove that you are an extraordinary ability specialist in your sphere by providing articles about you, letters of recommendations, and other evidence, then I think any specialist can get it. I don't know, like consult. So this is my opinion because I've seen so many people getting the O1 visa, but please consult the immigration lawyer who can help you with everything. And the nicest part about this visa is that once you're in the States, you can apply for a green card, which is pretty cool. I think it's very important to know the price for this visa because it took me like around $8,000 to apply for it. I know it's very expensive. At the same time, I know people who did the visa themselves, so they just paid the application fee because the lawyer's legal fees are the biggest chunk of the sum that I've mentioned. But I would say, like, to be safe, rather be safe than sorry, it's better to hire an attorney or lawyer. I don't know the right word. Is it lawyer? I think immigration lawyer. So yeah, this was my short story about my visa. If you have any questions to me, please write them down below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you on Tuesday, 12 p.m. California time live, or in the next video, which is next week. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.